are back with our candidate debate. We're going to be moving on to Water District 3. We have Mr. Jeanie Flores and Mr. George Cambero here with us this evening. Unfortunately, Judy Guglielmana could not make it. We do have a letter from her, though, that we will be reading. So I'd like to open it up to the two gentlemen for opening statements. We'll start with Mr. Flores, followed by Mr. Cambero. Mr. Flores, you have 3 minutes for an opening statement.
Testing 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, those that stayed, thank you. I appreciate it a lot. I brought something with me. It's not a picture of me, but it's my granddaughter. The reason I bring her every time I run for the water district is because she's very important to me. She's so important, like you are. And I want to tell you a story. The reason I run is because of water quality. You know, I've asked a lot of people, do you drink our water from the tap? And the answer is no. An example is, look at the 2 bottled waters on the table. Another example is, look at this bottle here. We purchase more bottled water than we do drinking our supply. Do you know why? The answer I gave is because, Jimmy, I don't trust it. And I'll tell you why I don't trust it. Supplement supplies coming. What we're using today is reclamation water. It is dangerous. Do you think you could drink it at home? And the answer is yes. My granddaughter, can she drink it at school? The answer is yes. And you ask yourself, how? It's very simple. Somebody makes a mistake. And that's why I've been running for this water board agency since Judy was 9 years old. Because she's been part of this and she does a very good job, and I'm going to do a better one. My sole goal as a director is to protect your distribution system. Because reclaimed water is coming through Elsinore. Reclaimed water is here. Reclamation water is used in your lake. And the reason it's used in your lake is because it's a pilot program. To this day, I have not encountered a report what it does to the human body. We've had 2 deaths. They passed away. And they blamed it on the reclaimed water, but it was never proven. So now that the 2 agencies are going to put in $50,000 more into the funds, which is currently going to raise it to 1.4, why? And that's why I want to be part of this water district. I've worked very hard to do my best. During the time of employment to protect and supply, I'm no longer there for certain reasons. If you'd like to ask me and know the truth, talk to me, and I will tell you what actually went on, because I'm not afraid anymore. But I just want to let you know that reclaimed water is coming. It's going to be the most secondary supply, and it's going to hit your front door. Make sure that you're elected director and knows what they're doing.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Mr. Cambero, 3-minute opening statement.
I'd like to start by saying thank you for inviting me to be able to be part of this candidate forum. My name is George Cambero, and I work in Elsinore Valley Municipal for 33 years. I was a water production supervisor and involved in many different tasks. One of them was water rights. Water rights that basically is all around us. However, Elsinore Valley Municipal is underutilizing this potential. It goes back to the same thing Mr. Flores was talking about. Recycle water. Yes, recycle water is the only water source available to continue keeping the lake is what it is now. If you go back to 1980 or the 70s, the lake is dry. And you know what that means. Now, earlier, Mr. Fiesel and Mr. Hagan, they talk about building. Well, you need a resource. Without the water, building is not going to go on. Now, we talk about the drought. Drought is bringing the worst and the best things that we can accommodate. One of them is most recent. The governor just signed a legislation to basically take, it will cut, if you cannot prove, if you continue to pump the basins and overdrafting the basins, the groundwater resources has the ability to come in and either, if you cannot prove that the basins that you are pumping from is being replenished, they can shut it down. Now, there's only three water supplies that we have. There's in-water water, groundwater, and surface water, which is canyon lake. I know where the water is. Why? Because the litigation that went on between Elsinore Valley and the city of Lake Elsinore, I was the one that put together all the history of the water. Being as the water production supervisor, basically I was protecting the rights, water rights for Elsinore Valley Municipal and San Bernardino. I was the one moving the water in 3 counties, Orange County, Riverside County, and San Bernardino County. We have water rights out there and within San Bernardino, 8,300 acre feet per year. In addition to that, there is another feud going on in Fontana. Well, some of the water in Fontana also belongs to Elsinore Valley, which we're not using. Another area of, we got like 2,000 gallons per minute in the Riverside North Basin that we can also bring down. The other sources that we have is in Corona, we have like 4,000 gallons a minute that we can bring down to Elsinore Valley, and that will, if we bring it down, then we'll cut down and import water. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, for the opening statements. We have 4 questions for you this evening. Mr. Cambero will be starting with you, followed by Mr. Flores. Governor Brown recently signed historic groundwater management legislation which overturns what had long been held an inviolate property owner's right, which is to pump as much water from the ground as they like. What other similarly historic actions would you recommend to help California overcome chronic water shortages?
Well, as I said, as I just mentioned, the water that we have available right now, going back historically over 30 years, our basin, we've been basically overdrafting our basin. So yes, Elsinore, our local area, will be in danger of losing that source. So I talk about other sources that we have available that we can bring. We have sources in areas that we can basically tap into: Manatee, Sanse, Corona, and San Bernardino and Fontana area. So we need to protect and secure our water supplies. And in case something happens, they're talking about 2020, 2040, but who knows? We need to act now, not later.
Thank you. Mr. Flores.
Repeat the question, please, sir.
Governor Brown recently signed historic groundwater management legislation which overturns what had been a long-standing held on inviolate property owners' rights, which is to pump as much groundwater from the ground as they like. What other similarly historic actions would you recommend to help California overcome chronic water shortages?
Well, first of all, I disagree with Mr. Brown. I think every resident and homeowner that owns a piece of land or more land than I do is entitled to the water that's underneath this land. In some cities, not only can you install a well, but they charge you for the water that comes out for a meter. And I don't think that's right. I believe that we're entitled to anything that's on the land, and if you have a well, pump it. It will save you money. And those that use agricultural usage for land, do it. But what happens is that we start restricting usage because money is the bottom line, and supply. You know, Lake Elsinore, for instance, you know the only time that the lake is full is when God makes it rain. Back in the 80s and in between the years. And without that help, we wouldn't have that supply in that lake. And now to supplement the supply with additional source, I don't believe it. If We do not have enough water to drink, and this drought has brought the circumstances surrounding our district, and we need to use what's available to save our drinking supply. So, to end, just want to let you know that every person, including Governor Brown, if he owns 20 acres, should be entitled to any well on the property without any cost. Thank you.
A 90-second rebuttal? Yes.
If you're going to do that, George, I'll be right behind you.
Okay. It's talking about water rights. The only place, there's different types of water rights. You have riparian rights, coastal rights, and when you talk about water rights, basically the only place that I know that they can charge you if you put a well, dig a well, is in Rancho Water. Elsinore Valley, they will tell you not to do it, but you can build it at the well, and they don't have to put a meter. However, it's about saying, hey, you're affecting our water production. They have historical rights. They can do it. But, whoever has the most money is the one who's going to win.
90 seconds.
Oh, I only 2 seconds. George, you're right. Elsinore does not charge you for water. And they better not, because I'll be the first one at their doorstep. But, it's speculative. It does. And all those farmers out there, not only do they pay the electrical power, but the water that goes to that meter that they purchase. And that's wrong. So, are we going to get there? When you elect me, I'll make sure you don't get charged.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Our next question. A water board campaign sign suggests that a vote for a certain candidate is a vote for safe and affordable water. Is there something currently unsafe and unaffordable about the water supply that needs to be fixed that we don't know about? Mr. Flores.
Yes, and that's known as a cross connection. I'll give you an example. Here's a man that gave the authority to use sewer water, reclaimed water, toilet water, for irrigating his plants. And every night for many, many years, not just 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, for many years, every time he went out there and turned that valve on, at night, the pressure would rise to 120, 140 psi. Well, the pressure coming into his home was only 60. Guess what happened? He pushed that water right into that meter and right into your drinking supply. I'm not saying it happened here. Right into the drinking supply. And guess who drank it? Those that live in the community. They drink that water. And many years ago, they didn't have what they have today in treating that supply. Another prime example. Bacteria. Somewhere far, far away, 2 little girls were in the hospital. And then while they were in the hospital, chief deputy of the fire department said his girls were sick. And the doctor says it was bacteria in their intestines. Where'd they get it? He believed it came from his neighbor because the well was not constructed according to the new constructions. So yes, it is possible. And it does happen because human beings make that mistake. We don't have the training or the knowledge or the education to prevent that from happening. And when it does, we have an obligation as a board of director or the directors that are here today to tell you. But you never heard this happen because they will not tell you. You know why? I'll tell you why. And I'm going to tell you the truth. Safety is the least amount in their hearts. Money is what they look at. So when you elect me, I'm going to make sure that this never happens to your grandkids like Kylie. I showed you the picture. Everywhere I go, I have a picture of my Kylie. I don't want her to get sick. And most of all, I don't want her to die.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Cambero.
Well, I can tell you, working at Elsinore Valley Municipal and being the water production supervisor with NWest, I was the one when you call and complain. Sometimes, years went by and you didn't know who I was. But sometimes if you knew me, all of a sudden you just call me and says, I don't have any water, I have low water pressure. You remember me. I would be the one coming to you. As I was saying, I was the one, the water production supervisor, the day-to-day operations. My job was to provide and deliver safe drinking water to you. I'm incompetent. You can say the state says that I'm a competent person. Why? Because I'm certified by the state. I can operate any system, any large system, LA, but without having the mainline breaks within LA. Again, it goes back, my job was to basically being able to control the system. And that was my job. The other side that we're talking about, safe drinking water, I can tell you that Elsinore Valley does have a very active cross-connection control department. The cross-connection, basically, those are the ones that protects anybody that has a business, a hospital, a well, agricultural, systems. Their cross-connection, basically, they're the ones that they go around, and on a yearly basis, they want to make sure that your system is certified and is working in working order. So, if you look at the drinking water quality, it says it meets all local, federal, and the state water quality compliance. So, again, I trust their water system. And as I was, working, I can tell you that I can come up to my house, I can go to my house and drink the water. But again, there's many things that we can do to improve the water system, and it takes money. And going back, if you let me, I can do it. Why? Because I was there. The present board, they don't know. I'm not saying that they don't want to do it. They just don't understand. I do because I was there for 30 years, 33 years. Excuse me.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, ladies, second rebuttal.
Yes, George worked there for 30 years. I worked there for 15. And I'm the gentleman who established that program. I am the gentleman who put together the entire program and protecting your supply. 15 years of my life was spent there. Trained, certified as a treatment plant operator, distribution operator. And is the water quality within all the standards? The answer is yes. Because it is controlled by an agency that's more powerful than we are, which is the State Health Department or the Regional Quality Control Board. But humans make mistakes. And please don't ever forget that. Because when they do, it's when they put you in jeopardy of drinking not only the supply that looks just as clear as this, mixed with the treated wastewater, and it looks just like this, and you don't know when you're drinking. And think about it. It's scary. And it happens.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, question number 3. This one will start with Mr. Cambero, followed by Mr. Flores. I believe that Tuscany Hills HOA is one of EVMWD's largest customers of fresh water, which is being used to irrigate plants because recycled water is not available. What can EVMWD do to help deliver recycled water to Tuscany Hill?
They can do a lot. One of my goals is basically to go beyond Tuscany Hills. One of my goals is basically implement the 2 master plans. One is to do the original drinking water master plan. Second, I need to do the regional recycle water master plan. And what that means, you can read all the nice flashy updates that we get in the mail from Elsinore Valley. However, they've been busy trying, installing new water lines for recycled water. However, now that you see tanks up on the hill that says recycled water, you don't have an active recycled water system. So, for me to say, that they can utilize the existing recycled water that we have right now. And yes, they do, but only as a part-time, not as a full-time. And what I'm proposing to do, and doing the original recycled water master plan, is to go outside beyond what Elsinore Valley can do within its own capacity. We need to go out and bring in new water supplies so we can save water, the drinking water that we have, to lower our import water.
Thank you.
Please, sir. Canyon Lake has a treatment wastewater facility which is close to testing hills. And to install a reclamation water line or a main trunk line is the only answer to help testing hills. The problem they're going to encounter is, of course, storage. And the other is going to cost in distribution of the reclaimed water supply. And one of the most important factors is the infrastructure. It was never designed for the acceptance of reclaimed water, with new lines going to the areas of most usage, of course, school, parks, and your landscaping, which would cost millions of dollars, which I don't believe Tuscany Hills today has the sort of funding to provide, which would, if we were going to be working, saving our supply, then the water district has to cover that cost. So there's other issues as well, as Mr. Cambero mentioned, the infrastructure. One of the worst mistakes we made was during the time that we installed the sewer system around the lake. We never installed a dual manifold system, which means two pipes running side by side. To construct that type of distribution today is out of question. But there is an answer. My solution to distribute more of this supplement supply is today. Our lake is 20 feet deep now? You can almost walk halfway down. Is to construct a main distribution line around the lake. And there's nothing to worry about with gas lines, electrical, or anything. But what happens with that distribution main? You start branching off. You go to schools. You go to places where there's more usage. Because as we get into this coming year or next year, they're going to close our lake. There's not enough water. And we need to save what we have. And the only way is to sit down and come up with some new ideas, and that would be a new distribution line around the lake without any interference with anything else, because as we all know, there are sewer lines underneath the lake, there are electrical lines, there are telephone lines. We have nothing to, thank you, ma'am, we have nothing to do but to set aside some funding. Instead of spending $6.2 million plus up on that hydroelectric plant, install these lines to save your drinking water. And as your new director, I plan on doing it. Thank you.
Thank you. We have one last question. Mr. Flores will get first. Oh, yes, and then second rebuttal, please.
Well, it goes back to experience. I have it. And knowing where the water is. I agree. I mean, going back to, when the lake was almost dry, I remember walking across and even playing around the lake. That would have been the best time to dredge the lake, make it deeper, smaller, more manageable. So you don't have to feed the fish kill. Can you dredge it right now? Yes, you can. Many places do it. And by doing so, you can save, as they were talking about, without Lake Elsinore, without the lake, there's nothing. So you need the lake. So you need to come up with innovative ways of saving the lake. And there is other sources, as I mentioned before. If you let me, bring it down here.
Thank you.
Nobody officer, we're tired.
On to our final question for our closing statements. California's Proposition 1, a new $7 billion state water bond, is promoted as a way to protect long-term farm jobs by building new dams. Detractors cite the proposition as a scheme to charge taxpayers higher water fees for water they already own that enriches special interests. What is your position on Proposition 1?
You must have been reading something because I brought it. I brought it because when I read it, there's only one thing that I actually took a look at, and that was, we need it. Most bond issues, or water bond issues that are brought forward, normally pass. That's how Elsinore got its 3 wells reactivated. That's how the watershed came on the board. That's when the GPA, Mr. Dane Wunderlich and all those wonderful board members that have been on, established what we needed for that lake. So I'm voting in favor of. And the reason is because we get to receive some of that funding. But when you read this, think about me when you go out and you vote. The last of the first paragraph says, including surface and groundwater storage, the ecosystem and watershed protection, and drinking water protection. Drinking water protection. That's on it. So when you read it, think about why I'm running. Same reason they're putting it on it is to protect the supply. In between, I've learned as past chairman of the City of Lake Elsinore Commission, or commissioner, in between is funding, monies, and all that involves in operating this huge multi-million-dollar water district. Do I know how much they have in the bank? I will when I'm elected. But you learn all this in between those time periods. When I became a commissioner, did I know what a pocket park was? I thought it was, no. But I learned. And I made some changes and said, developers, don't bring a pocket park in our development. Give the people something they deserve. That's why I'm not there anymore. But anyway, all this you learn in between, just like Mr. Mono's back there. City councilman, soon he'll be mayor, he learned. Give me an opportunity to learn. And let me tell you, this water bond issue is one of the best things that comes around once in a while. To take our hard-earned money and put something back in not just this city, but all the other cities that need it. Because we don't have it. Yes, I'll stop. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Cambero.
$7.5 billion. It's a lot of money, but not enough for what we want. Do I support it? Yes. Would have been maybe more than the 7.5? I would say yes, only if 40% of the $7.5 billion is going to build two big reservoirs, one in the Central Valley and one out in the north end. Where do we need them? Over here, Southern California. We only have one, the largest man-made reservoir. I mean, we have more than that, but I'm talking about the largest. It's Diamond Valley. It's more than 800,000 acre feet. If we have an earthquake, we lose one of the aqueducts, whether the state water project or the Colorado River, depending on the extent of the damage, can we survive with the water we have? Now, if you've been reading the reports, the new water year started October 1st. We're at 36% storage. So if you really think about that, we're in a 4th year, drought year. Well, what about it with this arena? This is where the reason why we need more reservoirs. So do I support the $7.5 billion fund? Yes, I do. There is money in there for infrastructure, upgrades to flood control. I was a flood control commissioner representing Wilmar. I was on the RDA representing Lakeland Village and Wilmar as well. So I know the needs. And I know that we need more money. There's money in there. Out of the $7.5 billion, there's also money for recycled water. So we're talking about building a recycled water line. This is the time to do it. Not money that we have to spend. Money that we can get out of the $7.5 billion. It's when you need to tap into the money that is approved by everybody. So we need more lobbyists. Yeah, it's a catch-22, but there's, money calls money. So if we need to do that, whatever it takes, we need to get the most money we can to bring it home. If you let me, I will make sure that it happens.
Yeah, 90-second rebuttal.
90 seconds.
Mr. Cambero, I thank you. That I wanted to make clear is Lake Elsinore is a recreational lake. Can't use any funding. Canyon Lake is our reservoir. You can use all the funding from the water bond issue for that. So whatever comes forth to Lake Elsinore will not be any funding for water supplies or to fill that lake up with the monies. We'll have to work out something where it's only used for irrigation, which we're using today, pumping the 3 wells that they have today. Just so you understand that it will not be used for recreational purposes.
Thank you. Yes, 90-second rebuttal.
10 seconds.
Okay, Canyon Lake storage. It's a 12,000 acre-feet lake. 1 inch of rain and 100 feet when it rains is equal to 1 foot of water in Canyon Lake. All you can do is try. Innovative ways of lobbyists, whatever they can do to lobbyists for recycled water, you need to do it. We cannot, be without the lake. There has to be a way to do it. There's water, and as I said, there's other water sources that I can bring home. I know where the water is, just for the lake. So if you let me, this is what I'm going to do.
Thank you. As I mentioned before, unfortunately, Judy Guglielmana couldn't be here this evening, so before our closing statements from the gentleman, I'd like to write up Jeanie Corral, who has a statement from Judy who could be with us tonight.
Dear voters, I am sorry I am not able to attend the candidate forum tonight. I always enjoy the exchange of qualifications and ideas. I have a previously scheduled medical leave appointment for months, and I was not able to change it. I want to take this opportunity to share with you how I have served this community and you as the director of the Municipal Municipal Water District. I have lived and embraced my family in this community since 1972. I own and operate several small, successful businesses. I own Town & Country Realty and have previously served as a board of trustees to Elsinore High School District. I am currently involved with the Wildomar Chamber of Commerce, Wildomar Rotary Club, Elsinore Women's Club, and director for the Mount San Jacinto College Foundation. I have served you on EVMWD since I was elected in 2006. When elected, I promised to represent you as if you were my own family, reduce spending, keep low rates as possible, and I'm proud to say that I have kept these promises. We are enduring the worst drought in California's history. Now more than ever, trusted, experienced leadership is crucial for maintaining reliable water supplies and rates. Identifying local resources to get through this drought is my #1 priority. My record proves I've worked to implement a 28% reduction in connection fees for restaurants, making policy changes to help our struggling commercial accounts. I've promoted swapping drinking water for recycled water for landscaping. Every time a gallon of recycled is used, we save a gallon of drinking water. I have implemented cost-saving measures, reduced staff and renegotiated contracts to help keep rates manageable. I also promoted finding new sources of groundwater, which reduces our dependency upon imported water. I have worked hard as your EVMWD board member. I want this community to remain the same great place that I raised my family. I promise to continue to fight for safe and reliable water at the most reduced cost possible. I would be honored to have earned your vote. Thank you. Judy Guglielmana.
Thank you for reading that. Continue on, Mr. Cambero. We have 2 minutes for a closing statement.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for allowing me to be here and allow me to be able to serve you with the board of Elsinore Valley Municipal Water District, Wildomar Lake Village Division 3. As I said, I got the experience, I got the knowledge. Unfortunately, the existing water district board, including the staff, don't know what I know. Why? Because I know where the water is. I've been working doing this for over 30 years. As I said, I was 33 years employed at Elsinore Valley, but I continue to be a consultant. So I have 37 years as a water professional consultant. So I help cities, counties, private companies to stay in compliance. And concerning the rates, under Proposition 218, I will try very hard to try to educate the public as to the reason why your water rates are going to be increased. If it need be, if we have to, we can get stopped. But I think it would be the last thing to do this. And where we need to be saving is water. Is where the money is where the saving is. Right now they're not doing enough to bring the water down here, to cut down on imported water. If you will let me, I will uphold the seat, the board director of your voice. I'll be open. Anytime you want me to have a meeting or meet with me, I'll be in open communication. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. First of all, Judy, if you're watching this on the website, thank you. Judy is a good person. All of them are. They do the best they can. Sorry, sir. They do the best they can with what they got. But Judy's one person. You have 5 board members. And the key that I've learned in working with staff and boards is they all have to work together as a team. And I've learned that because you get more done that way instead of being an enemy. You're able to accomplish a lot more because our number one goal isn't ourselves. Our number one goal is you. And I've learned that during my appointment with Elsinore Valley Municipal Water District Board of Directors to the Recycle Water Task Force, is I work with a team. I was taught this as well, working with Joyce as the Victorial Reform Committee. We work as a team. So I look forward to being part and playing this role on your behalf in working as a team. Are our bills and sewer bills high? I have payment plans because I can't pay them. And this is my business, not my home. I don't have a front yard. If you were to come by, you'd laugh at me because I haven't done anything in a year. But my bills at my business are in the $1,400, $1,600. Because of the EDU charges, they charge you for every drop that goes in. I don't have an irrigation meter, which most big businesses do. There's supplements a supply and gives you a break on the cost. I wish I could afford an irrigation meter. An opportunity arises, and when it does, You take over, you move forward. If I'm elected, or when I'm elected, I'm going to move forward so that we can have better bill and sewer costs that's coming our way at a higher cost. Thank you all. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for our candidates